meant, and how it impacts mobile payments going forward. Show you how the transaction actually takes place. Very similar to what we see today, but obviously with your iPhone 6. And then how to articulate that to your clients, to the small businesses. What does this mean to them? And how can we get them ready to accept this new form of payment? But before I get started, I want to kind of set the stage here. That mobile wallets and mobile payment applications in and of themselves aren't new. We've seen them in the past, but I want to explain a little bit about why I think this one is different. Of course, it's Apple, and we know that Apple has very rabid fans that love their products. But I want to start off by talking about myself, which is probably not why most of you came on this call. But I want to talk about myself because I'm average. I'm probably the most average guy you'll ever meet. I'm married with 2 kids. I live in a suburb of D.C., and on the weekends I like to mow my lawn, grill outside in the backyard, and take my kids to soccer. But I'm also average because I use my smartphone for everything that I can. I consume news on it. I communicate. I watch movies. I bank on it. I use it for everything that I can because it makes my life easier. And remember, I'm not one of the techie guys who stands in line for 3 days to wait for the next iPhone to come out. I'm your average consumer, and that's why this is important, because your average consumer is going to want to use this. And again, it's Apple and the iPhone, which has a very loyal base of users. And this is a very simple process you'll see. So this is very real. It's not something that we're seeing out there in Silicon Valley. It's very real to your clients and to their customers. So we're going to talk about 2 things, in-store and in-app, and what do those things mean. In-store, retail experience, and in-app, the apps that we're seeing more and more every day, mobile and web, and then how that impacts our businesses and how you can get your clients prepared to accept them. All right, so yesterday the iPhone 6 comes out with near-field communication, or NFC. You'll be hearing a lot about NFC. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that. It's been around for a while, but essentially, in a nutshell, the phone, the handset, the hardware itself has NFC capability. It's not built into an app. It has to be in the phone, which is probably one of the reasons why we haven't seen these take off just yet. So near-field communication, I tap my phone near a contactless reader. That's what this comes down to logistically. I tap it, and it takes my payment information that way in lieu of a magnetic stripe swipe. Same thing happens after the fact, but again, I'm tapping to pay instead of swiping to pay. Also, custom apps. This is going to be something that probably your little bit larger merchants are going to be using, because building a custom mobile app takes some resources, some finances to build that. They can be very valuable depending on your business model or where you're going. But if you think about anyone who does any type of mobile gaming or anything like that. My son does some mobile gaming on his iPod, and inside there it can prompt him to purchase additional credits or really anything, and it's a real purchase tied to a card that gets charged. And so it happens right within the app. So app developers can leverage the Apple Pay service through code to put it into their application itself. So mobile apps can leverage this. That's considered e-commerce from that perspective, but it is available that way, and those are the 2 flavors we're going to talk about today. All right. So from a consumer perspective, what does that really mean to them? And I explained it from my perspective. As the average consumer, I want to pay in a way that's convenient for me. You've probably had conversations with small businesses in the past as to why they don't accept something like American Express. They think it's too expensive. But we know American Express users usually have a higher average ticket. They're loyal customers. They're business travelers. You're talking about more money for your business, and that's one of the reasons. They want to pay the way they want to pay, and you never, ever want to turn someone away because you don't accept their form of payment. That's just always the way it's been. And this is something that you're going to see more of in the future, so we want to get this set up with your clients as soon as possible. So that they can accept those. From a consumer perspective, I also want to pay with Apple Pay when I'm in some type of an application, and that's something else that I'll have the ability to do. So from a consumer standpoint, that's great for me on both of those fronts, because I get to pay the way I want, that's convenient, and it lets me manage my finances in a way that I like. Now, for our clients, the small businesses, what does that mean for them? Well, first, for our existing clients, it's not that difficult for us to get them up and running to be able to accept Apple Pay. As I said before, it comes down to a contactless reader. If you can accept contactless, with our solutions, then you can accept Apple Pay. So we're not talking about a huge outlay of money to get some type of custom application built. We're talking about a piece of equipment that's going to allow you to take those. And we'll talk about some of the other advantages to getting contactless as well. Something that's, I'll give you a hint, something that's coming up here in another year, October of 2015. So we'll be referencing EMV. Now, for our newer clients, we're talking about a huge opportunity, because if you do have to do some type of an upgrade for your equipment, why not take a look at your whole setup at that time and see if there's something better for you? And of course, I'm speaking of Clover. Clover is a great solution for a lot of those small merchants out there. So this is a great opportunity to say, hey, we've got a new solution for you, and really dive into a lot of the issues that Clover can address with that solution, as well as, hey, you're also going to be covered for Apple Pay as well as EMV too. We'll give you the whole package. So Clover is a great opportunity to push here. It's a great way to start that conversation with Apple Pay. Now, how does it work in store? And this isn't going to be groundbreaking, and that's a good thing, because the process in the store is going to be very similar to what you see today. So from a client experience, from that small business, you need to have the NFC reader. You have to be able to accept contactless. So you'll see some of the NFC equipment that's available here. With the Clover station, the FD40 pin pad has contactless available with it. So that's how the Apple Pay is going to be leveraged there with Clover. You're going to ring up the sale the same way as you do today. Charge it up. Point to the reader. There's a universal symbol for contactless. You'll see here in a slide or two. And they're simply going to tap or move their phone right in front of that reader. Now the question comes up, if it's just picking up a signal wirelessly, is it going to accidentally charge me if I walk by a store or something like that? And the answer is absolutely not, because that's not how it works. You have to be within a few inches of the reader with the device to have it charge and have it work. So that's a good thing. But the great thing is the customer doesn't have to give up their card at all. It happens right there at the point of sale. You simply wave it and you're good to go. If you have Clover, you can email the receipt or text the receipt. If you have a traditional terminal, you print the receipt out just like you do today. Now the great thing from a client's perspective there is that there's really nothing else to train. If I got 10 clerks and I now have a contactless reader, there's really not that much they have to know about it. All they have to do is know that instead of swiping, they're going to tap their phone. That's it. So that's a great thing. Now, from a customer experience, I'm going to walk in with my iPhone 6, which I'm going to get. Not on the first day, because remember, I'm going to wait a little bit because I'm the average consumer. And I'm going to pull out my phone and tap it where I see that symbol for contactless. And it's going to charge whatever card I want in the application itself. I can have multiple cards loaded in the payment application on my phone too, which means I can choose to pay with my MasterCard, my Visa, whichever ones are in there. Now, it's also helpful for me because chances are I can get my phone out a lot quicker than I can pull my wallet out, then pull my card out, and then swipe it. So that's the way that I want to pay, and I appreciate it when a small business accepts the way that I want to pay. So really not that groundbreaking from the logistical standpoint, but really great from a loyalty standpoint and a client standpoint. Now, in the store, there's a lot of back-end things that happen when a transaction goes through, and this kind of outlines that. It's not a lot different from a magstripe transaction, but there's one thing here I really want to stress, and that's security. You'll see the word highlighted in here, token. And with the TransArmor solution that First Data offers or will offer soon, you have tokenization and encryption. And basically what that means is the sensitive information is tokenized, which means I don't have in my device a full credit card number. That's sensitive data that can be used fraudulently. What I have instead is a token that's used in place. And that means if somebody, in the rare case someone could get a hold of that, they have a useless token. The token is only useful to someone who has the key to open it there. So that's really a key piece here is security, because when you talk about a new technology like this that's holding sensitive data, the first thing that comes to mind for anybody, especially a small business, is that really secure? And the answer is yes, because this tokenization technology has been used for years. in the TransArmor solution. Over 3 billion transactions have been secured with it. We know it works. It's cutting edge. It's state of the art, and it's available within the Apple Pay device and application. So that's really key here. All right, so we go on next. So in-app, how does that really work? So in the app itself, as I said, mobile applications are being built at a rapid pace. Mobile is, in a lot of cases, the preferred way of accessing the internet for a lot of people. I think almost half of internet usage is on mobile devices now. That's smartphones and iPads and tablets. So that's really the direction it's going. So why not make sure that people can purchase very easily from a mobile application? All right. Now, if a small business or a business wants to do this, the first thing they're going to have to do is engage with a developer, someone who develops mobile applications or things like this. That's a third party. They would engage them and very easily point them to a new service called Payeezy.com, which I'll talk about here. Payeezy is going to give those developers the code, the programming, all the information that they need to do their technical magic to make this application created for that business, along with the payment feature. And as I mentioned before, that's considered e-commerce. With the in-store app, that's considered retail. Tapping on there is the same as swiping a Magstripe card, so that's retail. But in the case of the in-app version, that is e-commerce and is considered. If you think about interchange and anything else related to e-commerce, that would apply here as well. Now, how do they deliver these apps out to their customers? If a consumer wants to download that, they can download that easily from iTunes. Apple iTunes Store lets you do that. Anyone can put their app out there, and it makes it very easy for them to download and start using the app at any time. So again, the in-app piece is just as secure as the in-store piece we talked about before. Same technology. It's cutting edge. It's secure in many, many ways. So what is Payeezy then? Payeezy is the next generation of our global gateway E4 solution. So right now the E4 gateway is very commonly used by many of you out there. Payeezy is the next version of that. You'll be seeing a whole lot more coming from Payeezy. But one piece I want to point you to here, and you'll see the URL here is payeezy.com, but if you send someone to developer.payeezy.com, that's going to take those developers right to the place they need to go to get the code and see exactly how you would integrate the Apple Pay using Payeezy. So it's a great solution. As I said, you'll be seeing a lot more about it. It integrates with just about everything out there, over 70 major shopping cart solutions. It's got an open API, which means that a developer can customize Payeezy for just about anything that a business wants to use it for. So that's the flexibility that's key that every developer wants to use. All right, now behind the scenes in the in-app, as I said before, it's tokenized. That token's going to be key. We don't want that information exposed. There's a lot of different things, especially within the iPhone 6, that help with security. There's several layers there, which I'll explain, but a very similar transaction with the in-app version 2. Very secure, but like I said, a lot of mobile apps are coming out, so this is going to be key, and that security is going to be key to stress to them as well. When you build this, it will be secure. All right, and there's that tokenization. The other thing I want to talk about when it comes to tokenization, same tokenization that's in TransArmor, is you think about the device itself. The iPhone 6 is going to have a couple of features that are going to be key to address this, and that is if I'm concerned about putting my credit card numbers into a payment application on my phone, what if I lose it? What happens if it gets stolen? And that happens. So, but you think about it today, if your iPhone gets stolen, a lot of people would go immediately to Find My iPhone or some service like that, which can do a few things. Maybe it geolocates where your phone is right now based on the mobile signal, or maybe it beeps and the phone is under my pillow or it's under my desk or something so I can find it. But what if it truly is stolen? If I gave you my phone today, you couldn't even make a phone call on it because you don't know the password to get in. If you did somehow crack the password to get into my phone, you'd have to get into my wallet application or my payment application. That's going to require another password, so you have to get through that. Now, the iPhone 6 comes out with a really neat feature that's been talked about for a little bit. People have been speculating, but that's what they call biometric authentication. And basically what that means is taking my thumbprint, press my thumbprint on the phone, and it biometrically identifies if that thumbprint belongs to me because I set it up that way. This is a feature I can turn on. So you think about those layers of security, and then if you do crack all those, all you get is a token. You just wasted your time as a criminal. So to me, that's very secure. If you think about if you lost your phone, you'd probably realize you lost your phone well before you realize you lost your wallet or your purse. It's just that way because we use it for so many things. So that's my take on the security. I like it. I think it's really secure. The other piece, I mentioned TransArmor. TransArmor's in there too. So the transaction is tokenized and encrypted too. So we got protection on every level in the wallet as well as while it's transmitting the information as well. TransArmor is it's just a solid product, and it's just really, really something that every business needs to have, and that's going to be key. Now, EMV, we know that deadline, October 2015, is when the liability shift takes place. And that essentially means that if a business cannot accept EMV in October of 2015 and they take a card anyway, maybe they mag swipe it instead, if there's fraud from that card transaction, this business is liable for that. So the liability shifts back to them if they cannot accept EMV. The great news is it's easy to be able to accept EMV. That FD40 or the 35s, if you can accept contactless, you can take contactless EMV transactions, and now they're covered for that risk that they'll be seeing in October of next year. So again, Apple Pay and EMV, two very good reasons to go ahead and get upgraded and get into something better. In addition to whatever else we can offer them, that the Clover solution just has so many obvious benefits to just about any small business that it's really an all-in-one bundle, and it's a no-brainer. All right. So just to highlight the key pieces here, when you're speaking to a small business, it's safe and secure. I've mentioned several different ways it's safe and secure, but that's going to be a question that pops up because it's new, and that's natural. But we can definitely address that. All right. Cutting-edge technology. Right now, it's kind of a buzzword. This is kind of the thing. When someone gets the Apple iPhone 6, they're going to want to use it, so they're going to look for someone who accepts Apple Pay. Probably they'll go into a store that accepts it, maybe just to try it. But let's leverage that and get it on the ground floor and make sure that people know we accept Apple Pay. You can use your phone here. And I think that's going to drive people there. It is a cutting-edge technology as well as the security that comes with it. Now, as far as speed goes, there's some numbers out there, and I don't have them readily available, but essentially you think about tap and pay and as opposed to mag swipe, and tap and pay can be up to 40% faster. Because remember, I'm not pulling out my wallet and then my card and then swiping and then maybe swiping the other way because I put it in wrong. I'm simply pulling out my phone, which I do 100 times a day anyway, and I'm tapping it. So that's faster. It's more convenient for me as a consumer as well, and that's going to speed up the lines, especially since we're getting up to the holiday season. That's going to be really important to businesses. And building loyalty, here's where I always reference, getting loyal customers, people who want to come in over and over again because they like the experience. I always come back to Starbucks because Starbucks has just mastered the retail experience. People who go to Starbucks love to go to Starbucks. And if you ask them, how do you get someone to pay $6 for a cup of coffee, Starbucks would tell you. You cater to them. You give them what they want. So Starbucks gives free Wi-Fi. They've got some mobile apps already. They were one of the first out there. They have now are starting to install wireless chargers for mobile devices. So you simply set your phone down on it and it charges it wirelessly, which I didn't even know was out there in the public yet. So this is the kind of thing that people like to use. Starbucks has created loyal customers partially because of that. And that's something I think any small business should really think about. And it's really the wave of the future. I can't imagine that people will think that 20 years from now we'll be using magnetic stripe cards. We know that to not be the case. So let's get on board and start pushing this. Now, to get started, just a list of some of the pieces that you can use with Clover Station, the FD40. That's what's going to give you the contactless. And in addition to that, if they don't already have it, they'll accept PIN debit, of course, because after all, it is a PIN pad. PIN debit, EMV, and Apple Pay all in one device there. So that's going to be key. Now, if they have traditional 130s, 410s, or the 130 Duo, they do have the ability to use those if they're contactless enabled, whether in the device or with a PIN pad like the FD35, they can accept it. So there's a good chance a lot of your clients out there already have the ability to accept Apple Pay when it comes out here in the next few weeks. So that's a good thing, but definitely have those conversations with them. If they have one of the older devices of the FD series, the 1, 2, or 3s, the FD35 will work for those and will allow them to take EMV and Apple Pay as well. So really not that difficult to get them into this stuff. And as I said before, the symbol you see on the screen here is the universal contactless symbol there, and they'll be able to tap and go with it there. All right. Now, as far as Payeezy goes, as I said before, the Payeezy.com site is up, but developer.payeezy.com is going to be where you want to go to check this out and point your clients to, because that's where their developers are going to be able to see what they need, get everything they need to get them up and running for the in-app piece of Apple Pay. All right, and that runs us out there. That's my piece. That's we'll have more information as this develops more. Apple is very specific about how we work with them. So we had a lot of information that came in just this week. So good news is we'll have more coming out in the coming weeks, and we'll share that with you as we have it. So, but with that, Obi, should we go to questions now?
Yeah, we should absolutely go to questions.
All right, great. So Stephanie, can we go ahead and open that up?
Certainly, and at this time, as a reminder, if you would like to ask a question, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. We will pause for a moment to compile the roster.
Great, thanks.
Okay, and we do have a question from the line of Matt Van. Your line is open.
Great, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, this is OB. Can you tell us who you are when you come on, and we'll be happy to answer your question. Hey, Stephanie, do we have a bad connection here?
No, I believe you said hello. It was the line of Matt Van. If you're on the line, maybe you're on mute.
Hey, Matt, can you hear us okay?
Hello?
Oh, hey, Matt, we can hear you now.
There we go. Well, actually, I'm not Matt, but I'm in his office. I'm Richard. But just a quick question. Does the Verifone 520s with the contactless feature, would they work with this?
They should. If it's, it all follows the standard ISO specification of 14443 A and B. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it should work.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
If you I read something earlier this week, like CVS and McDonald's and other stores already accept the contactless device, so it should work.
Okay.
Okay, and we have another question from the line of Denton Grimes. Your line is now open.
Hi, gentlemen. My question is there any way we can get a copy of this presentation? I just wasn't able to see anywhere where I could download it.
Yeah, this is Marty. I will make sure this gets out onto firstdataclients.com so that what it's going to be is under Merchant Services and then Communication 2014. It's the same place. It'll be the same place where we had our roadshow presentations with all the products so that it's all in one convenient place.
Okay, beautiful. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, go ahead.
I was also going to ask, are you guys going to put a rollout list of, because I was writing down the terminals as I saw them on the presentation, but is there just how we have the list of compatible POS devices and whatnot? Will we have one for contactless?
That is a great question, and OB, if it's all right, I'm going to add on a little bit to your answer. First, I'll take the last guy just to clarify. The VX520 will be available. You'll need the VX805 as the peripheral that's required for EMV with the VX520. Also, the VX520 LE will be available with the VX805. And to answer your question, yes, I'm sorry I didn't have it for this presentation. We do have a line of Class A terminals that will be available for EMV and contactless, as well as the Omaha Class B terminals. I'm trying to put it together into one document, and we will get that out to all clients. Your RBDs will be armed with all of that terminal information as well. And what I might do is I'll probably end up putting it out on firstaddedclients.com with that under 2014 communication right next to this presentation, so that you will have it right next to each other.
Okay, all right, wonderful. That's it.
Thank you. And we do have another question from the line of Tim McDonald. Your line is now open.
Hey guys, question about Apple Pay on Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. They were very aggressive about keeping Google Wallet off of those carriers. Is Apple Pay going to work on Verizon and AT&T and T-Mobile without incident?
Yeah, there shouldn't be a problem with that. Let us take that away and confirm it. But you're right, on some of the other previous wallet applications that came out, there were specific to carriers. So we'll confirm that for you. Thank you.
We don't anticipate that being a problem, but it's a good question.
Great. And your next question comes from the line of Aaron Dewar. Your line is now open.
Hi, just wondering on the existing devices we have deployed with NFC communication, will First Data be making programs available for Ingenico as well as Verifone terminals?
We've talked to both Ingenico and Verifone. They do not have EMV applications ready yet, so they will be providing those for our certification. Yeah.
How about the NFC side?
I don't know the question of that one, especially from a Class B perspective. We're having conversations this week with the product team. I initiated some dialogue yesterday to talk about, or day before yesterday, to talk about a Class B application on Ingenico. So I don't know the answer right now, but it is my preference that we have one.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Peter Schneider. Your line is now open.
Morning. Just back to the question about Google Wallet a couple of questions ago. I mean, obviously Google's been out with NFC availability with the ISIS wallet or whatever it's called now. Everything that was just described in this presentation will work the same way with the Google Wallet, correct?
Yeah, the main difference there, the Google Wallet works off the same NFC technology. So if someone is set up to accept Apple Pay, they're also set up to accept Google Wallet as well. Yeah, just two different payment applications.
Right. Okay. And then just one follow up on what Marty had said a couple minutes ago about the 805 pin pad. Is TASC going to be getting those as a normal course of business? Because I was told just a couple of days ago that there's like an 8 to 12 week turnaround time from when you order an 805 to when you get it.
I'll have to check with our friends at TASC and see. You know, we prefer you to buy the First Data products. Well, of course. we think the proper solution would be the Clover tablet with the FD40 pin pad. And
is the FD40 on Omaha yet?
It will be available. The FD40 will be available as soon after October 18th as I can get it.
Yeah. So, you know, there is a time lapse. You know, Apple announced this yesterday. I think the phones go on sale later this week.
No, they're for pre-order next week.
They're for pre-order next
so
week.
Not even be available.
And they'll come with the 8.0 iOS. And we actually have 25 of the phones in-house now that we are testing under strict Apple regulations for iOS 8.1, which will be released in mid-October. And then that's when the payment capabilities will be ready. So we've got we've got about 5 weeks of time before market really can offer this solution.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
Your next question comes from the line of Steve Bredner. Your line is open.
Hi, my question is in regards to how this will affect interchange. Are these going to be processing through interchange, and will we still be able to earn discount on these transactions?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff in the press that you should read. Most of it's pretty accurate from what I've seen this morning. So if you go into, say, a CVS that takes contactless payments today, and you tap and buy, using the PayPass wallet on the iPhone 6, then that's a card present transaction at a lower rate. The in-app purchases, so if you walk into Nordstrom's and you use, or Panera Bread, and you use their application to buy a product or a service, that interchange is card not present interchange. And that's a deal that the brands worked out with Apple to give them, revenue for building the payment system.
Okay. Thank you.
We're working on a set of questions and answers that we can send out to you or post on our websites as soon as we have them that answer a lot of these questions. We've just been, trying to train our folks internally now, and so we'll have market-facing collateral and market-facing documents by the end of this week or early next week. We still don't have input from Apple that we're waiting to get from them.
And your next question comes from the line of Tina Arif. Your line is now open.
Good morning.
Hey.
I have a question in regards to, you talked about you want it to work with Clover and the FD400. So whenever you purchase the Clover, you'll have the Clover monthly, the TransArmor monthly, and then the mobile monthly. Is that correct? You have to have all of it, or is it all bundled together now once you actually do mobile for Apple Pay?
Well, there's no separate fee for Apple Pay.
Okay. But you'll still have to pay your TransArmor to have the tokenization with it?
The software as a service fee, includes the TransArmor, as part of that fee. So there's no additional fee other than the monthly software as a service fee.
And you're referring to the Clover service fee?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then what if they just want to do Apple Pay? Does that require the TransArmor with it, or how does that work?
If you use Apple Pay on a regular device that's not, TransArmor capable, then it's just tokenized and is secure, but not TransArmor enabled. So I think that's one of the things that we forgot to clean up in the transaction, because not all of our ISO clients, Patrick, use TransArmor.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for the confusion.
Thank you.
Right, and your next question comes from the line of Kevin Piccolo. Your line is now open.
Hi, good morning.
Hello.
Quick question. You mentioned if they use their phone to make a transaction, EMV, there's the password protection to access the phone, and then there's the additional biometric recognition. Has anybody determined how much that slows down the transaction?
I don't believe they do that, that's a setting that they can turn on, the biometric piece.
Okay, and then additionally, the Apple Watch, is that going to be enabled to allow for EMV transactions as well? Because I know the larger format iPhone 6 Plus, a little more cumbersome. I'm wondering if maybe more people might be inclined to use the watch at a retail location.
I read something yesterday that it was something in the public arena. I can't remember where it came from, but it said that the Apple Watch works in conjunction with either one of the new iPhone 6 So you have to have them both together to work, is my understanding. But I'm really unclear on that. I'm just trying to translate what I read yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
And your next question comes from a participant who didn't provide their information. If you did queue up for a question, your line is open. Please state your first and last name.
Hi, I'm not sure if it's me. I said my name, but I don't know if it went through.
All right, well, who is it?
Hi. This is Rick Caldarella, AOB. I have a question. In Patrick's presentation, I didn't have the online webinar access, but there were 3 things that were mentioned that I'm not sure whether they're multiple offerings or what. I'd like a little clarification if I could. I understand that this is a one-touch transaction, which leads me to believe that the information coming from the tap is magstripe formatted data. But you talked about EMV, and you also talked about point-to-point encryption with the TransArmor solution, and I don't know if the point-to-point is optional, that this will work with applications that are point-to-point protected and those that are not, and whether it will work with the iPhone 6 being tapped and the data that's transmitted into the contactless reader and the point-of-sale device being magstripe formatted data.
See, I don't know the answer to that. Marty, do you? It's regular information that would pass today, because you have to register your phone in the Apple Wallet. When you register your phone in the Apple Wallet, that's the genesis. So whatever would be passed, I would assume either in a chip or in a magstripe would be the same data.
Right. So let me try to. That was a loaded question, by the way, but that's okay. As OB said, with the iPhone 6. Your card, the consumer's card, is going to be tokenized within that device. So there's no encryption because it's already tokenized, and it's going to go down the line for an authorization already tokenized. So if you're with, let's say you have the FD130, and the merchant has the FD130, if you have the TransArmor downloaded the software into the FD130, then it's going to be encrypted within the terminal, and then it comes down to the first add authorization platform, and is then tokenized like it is today. That's the way it happens today. If you have Clover, then of course the FD40 in a contactless, you're going to have the token within. If it's a contactless iPhone 6, then it's going to be tokenized within iPhone 6, and it's also going to come down the line and be tokenized TransArmor, because all Clover transactions are mandated for TransArmor. So there's different scenarios in which the security layers will apply. The key point, though, is that there's at least 1 to possibly 3 different layers of security.
Right. So I think that what you said in part was that the card data that's being sent from the iPhone 6 is already tokenized. There's not even anything in the clear between the phone and the contactless reader like there is today with older non-EMV contactless cards, where it's actually the magstripe data that's being read by the contactless reader. Is this correct?
The only thing that passes is the token.
Right. Okay.
Yes, you are correct.
Okay, thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Michael Matzes. Your line is now open.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to be clear on some dates. We board our merchants on Omaha, and I did think I heard clearly that the Clover plus FD40 sometime after October 18th. But it sort of sounded like you were suggesting that the FD100s with the FD35, those file builds are available now, and every time we have tried to get a file built, For EMV, we were told they're not available from the help desk or from First Deploy. So can somebody clarify, if I called today, could I get a EMV and NFC capable file build for an FD100 with an FD35 on Omaha?
I can't confirm that. We are very close to, I know we're in pilot, and we're in, not pilot, but we are testing all of that. It is between now and October 18th, there's a whole lot happening with EMV, with the PIN debit, with the FD35. So stay tuned with the development of that on Omaha. If you want to, I believe that the Nashville front end, you can use the FD35. You can put the merchant on the Nashville front end and back end on Omaha.
Yeah, then we lose the next day funding for them. Just one real quick follow-up question. Do I understand this correctly? You don't necessarily need to use TransArmor. You can just use the contactless. You don't necessarily have to use TransArmor. Is that correct?
Except for Clover, yes.
Except for Clover, but it's built into the pricing on Clover.
That's correct.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Your next question comes from the line of Jeff Small. Your line is open.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey Jeff.
Good, Jeff.
Hey,
how are you?
Good. It was a good presentation. Thanks for that. I have several just real quick questions. I heard you say something about some marketing pieces maybe being out real soon, and I think that's real important to get into the marketplace to our customers. So tell me when you foresee a marketing piece that would be out so that we can maybe put a bill stuffer or maybe even do a direct mail piece to all of our customers. I'd like to hear that. I think the information was very good. Go ahead and answer that question.
No, I'm sorry. We're waiting for Apple to release images to us. We thought we were going to get them yesterday. We were on a time frame to have them 4 hours after the presentation. Now they're telling us it may be up to 4 days.
Okay, but you're talking within a week or two. We should be able to get something put together probably.
We want you to have as much information as possible. As you guys can imagine, as we've been working on this project with Apple for the last 8 months, it's required a great deal of secrecy, and we've had to follow their rules under the threat of being kicked out of the program. So, we're not as well prepared as we would be for a product launch with all the collateral, but we'll have it pretty quickly.
But Jeff, let me take a minute, because you bring up a great point, because we have so many clients on this call. If I strongly encourage you to go out to the FDIS Brand Center and look at all the marketing material that we have for all of our products, the recent launches, and keep an eye on that Brand Center, because that's where we are going to put all of the Apple Pay, the EMV collateral, and the marketing that you can brand to your business. So if you don't have access to the Brand Center, please contact your service rep, and we will get, within 24 hours, we can get you assigned onto the Brand Center. It's all free.
I appreciate that. We do have access, and that was my follow-up question, is are you going to be putting it all in there? And hey, I guess now we know where you've been for the last 8 months.
Thanks, Jeff.
So number two, I would like you to really take an assertive approach to hopefully taking the same kind of information, putting it into your training calendar with your training department, so we can have resellers and salespeople get on a call that's professionally done, where we know the information is going to be very accurate in putting out, and hopefully that will be done quickly. Is that something you're planning on?
Absolutely. Yes, we are getting this added to the training calendar, as well as I would like to add this to every RBD's client visit, so that they have this in their portfolio and can present to your agents, things like that, or do a webinar over the phone.
Well, he's coming out next week, so I guess hopefully that'll happen quickly.
Absolutely.
So number three, my last question is just, it was touched on about applications for the Omaha front end, and I think we could sit here and debate why we like to be on the Omaha front end. And I know there's calls with other front end and back end clients, but all right, I'm assuming based upon this new information with Apple that you're accelerating your development aspects on putting EMV into Omaha applications. Is that correct?
We are, Jeff. One of the keys to, and I want to get into whole technicals on this, one of the keys was what we implemented in May, which was Rapid Connect on the Omaha front end. And in order to, we did that so that we could put Clover on the Omaha front end, and we did it in a minimal fashion because we needed to do it quickly. We are finishing a lot of the certification for Rapid Connect on our October 18th install in order to pave the way for EMV and now Apple Pay. So October 18th can't get there fast enough for me.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, well, thanks for the info, Marty.
Yep.
Your next question comes from the line of Aaron Rich. Your line is open.
Morning. I just wanted to expand on in-app because the presentation went fairly quickly and I wasn't sure that I'd grasped in-app, but I understand it to be a tool that would permit merchants to create their own application to support Apple Pay, for example, and I guess whatever peripherals might be involved. Is that correct? Is that accurate? Can you expand on in-app just a little bit more?
Yeah. Well, in-app is just another way that you can use Apple Pay. And so if you looked at the press release that Apple did yesterday, they named some partners that were coming out. I can't remember. It was Panera, McDonald's, Starbucks, and a couple of others. And so they will have their own applications where, you know, that will open inside the Apple Wallet, you know, and you can use that just using your phone. And so I think those are designed to allow for loyalty and other things that these participants want to have in their own mobile wallet. So yes, any merchant could have their own in-app application, and you know, it just requires time and money to develop it.
Okay. Then, okay. Thanks to everyone who asked such great questions. I had about 13 questions, and they all got answered before you guys got to me, so that's it.
That's pretty good. I was looking at some of the, I've got an announcement here, Groupon, Sephora, Uber, Starbucks, Target, McDonald's. Well, there's 15 really good partners that are ready to accept.
Okay. Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Guy McDonald. Your line is open.
Thank you. Hi, guys. Good presentation. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet. First question is, the new wireless terminal you're going to come out with that is compatible with Clover, does that have NFC?
Yes, it does. Yes, it will.
So
Okay.
when we don't want to talk about that on this call today, but when we bring out the product extension information, then every extension you'll see from the Clover product line, you know, is takes advantage of all the Clover features.
Perfect. Okay. And sadly and happily, I'm one of those people that came over from Payment Tech, so I have 3 Clover stations sold, but I can't sell them. When is that going to be available to me?
I think if you see your RBD, we can work that out.
Okay.
And if you can't contact your RBD, let me know. This is Marty.
Okay, Marty, and how do I get a hold of you?
My phone number is 402-222-7814. Now everybody can write that number down.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Your next question comes from the line of Chandra Eric. Your line is open.
Good morning.
Hello.
Morning, Chandra.
How are you?
I am well. How's everything in Florida?
Oh, it's great. Nice and warm, and it's so exciting and refreshing you guys have come out with this call so quickly after the announcement. Thank you. My question pertains to, and a lot have been answered, thank you, but it pertains to the platforms. Are all the devices you know, typically First Data will come out with one device on one platform that's ready to roll, and then another one on another platform. Should we be looking at the North platform on this if we want to be able to roll it out quickly?
Well, the North platform is complete, and, you know, that's the platform for, you know, with the most clients on the platform. But we will have the Omaha platform ready by the time Apple's ready to introduce their product. So we'll have...
You will, and the mobile device as well? That you spoke?
The mobile device is down the road. It's not
It won't come out the same time then.
FD40 pin pad will be ready to connect to the Clover.
Okay, perfect. That was my main question. Thank you. Thank you again.
Don't take us too fast. Hey, operator, I think we've got time for probably one more question.
Perfect. Okay, and your next question does come from the line of Jesse Snyder. Your line is open.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I got my answer to my question from someone else asked the same question. Thank you.
Okay. Well, listen, everybody, we really appreciate your interest. We had an amazing turnout. I saw the number of participants on the call. We will do this again at 2:30 today, Eastern Time. So if you have other questions or you have other business associates that you think would benefit from